Hello and welcome to a new video. This is a new type of video. I'm looking down. I need to stop doing that because I have like my phone mirrored below me, which is not good. I shouldn't do that. And I have a microphone. I'm really upgrading my game here. Oh, so you can see I have like a really beautiful room. I need to look at you. We're gonna look at you. We're gonna look at you. So anyway, welcome to a new video. I asked my followers on Instagram to send me some questions to do a Q&A video, so I'll answer some questions while I draw. So there'll be some time lapse on this drawing as well, and I'll probably be in like a little corner somewhere so you can see my face, which I don't love to show my face sometimes, but I'm getting used to it because I want to, you know? I do want to be better at this, but please forgive me as I learn the tools of the trade here. So I have my handy dandy iPad with some of the questions pulled up. I also put them on the screen so you can see who asked the question, because I don't know if I can read all of these usernames. But yeah, well, this will be a fun video. We're gonna answer some questions as I draw so you can get to know me better and answer some frequently asked questions or just questions you have. I would love to get sponsored by Nespresso. Please sponsor me, Nespresso. I love their stuff. If you have an espresso machine, get the Costa Rica. Get it. If you haven't tried the Costa Rica coffee, oh my gosh, next level good. So good. Nespresso, please sponsor me. Please. Okay. So the first question is, when did you start drawing? I've been drawing for as long as I can remember. I think most artists have this story of like, I was always kind of the artsy kid. I always drew as a kid. I just enjoyed it. It runs in my family. We have some artsy people in my family. My grandmother on my dad's side was particularly artsy. So it's something that came naturally to me, the desire to draw. Was I necessarily good? No, but I just had a natural desire to draw ever since I was a kid. But I could tell you the first moment, at least in my memory, that I remember deciding I want to draw, like take drawing more seriously. And it's really weird. It's so weird, like these moments in your life that just stick with you. And granted, I was like 11 years old at the time, so my memory of this could be flawed, but I'll just tell you what I remember. I remember, again, I was like 11 or 12 years old, and I remember waking up one morning. It was like Saturday morning, and I went downstairs to watch like Saturday morning cartoons, as I did, as an 11-year-old does. And I remember turning on the TV and watching Danny Phantom. And it's not like it was the first time I had seen Danny Phantom. I'd seen it before. But there was something about this particular moment, again, in my memory, where I watched it and I was like, oh, I actually really like this story. I like this. And I decided to like go Google it afterwards. On like a family computer that we had. And from there I discovered DeviantArt and the Danny Phantom online forums, but DeviantArt was more important. Well, actually, they were both kind of important. I think the Danny Phantom online forums took me to DeviantArt, and I discovered fan art in this way for the first time. Again, at like an impressionable age of like 11 or 12, I don't really know. But I discovered these artists who had incredible styles, who were able to like reinterpret the show in a way, and the characters in their own style. I just like didn't know that was possible until then. And it just totally blew my mind. And it really was that moment. I discovered digital art, during that time too. I didn't know digital art was a thing. I mean, I'm 11 years old. How would I? My parents didn't know. So I like a few years later asked them for my first drawing tablet. So I owe a lot to that show. It's weird. It's weird how those things happen. But it was really that show that like encouraged me and like motivated me to like really take drawing seriously. And yeah, and the rest is history. Next question. Who are some of your favorite characters to draw and who are your least favorite? To the earlier question, Danny Phantom is one of my favorite characters to draw because I like learned to draw because of him. So he's up there. I also like most of the Shadow and Bone characters. Inej, Kaz, Nikolai. They're really fun to draw whenever I get the chance. I also love Nico. Nico from Percy Jackson is so much fun to draw. I call him my son because he is my son, and I just love to draw him. It's because he's just so, and he's a great character, and he's just so enjoyable to draw because he's unique. I like characters that have very unique characteristics. That's what makes them very fun to draw. So those would be probably my favorites. My least favorite, I don't know if I have a least favorite necessarily. I think there are just people that are particularly hard to draw. Guess whose audio got cut off when I was recording that video earlier. So we're going to continue on with the conversation, whatever I was saying halfway through, even though the audio got cut and I've changed a few things. But it's still the same day. We're just continuing the conversation. So what was I saying? I was saying, who is my least favorite to draw? Again, it's not necessarily that I have like a least favorite, but people that are harder to draw. We're going to say Tom Holland. When I was really into drawing Spider-Man, back when those movies were coming out, his face, there was just something about it that was like not clicking for me. So we're gonna say him. He's the toughest. Like, he's probably my least favorite to draw just because he was really hard. I think just capturing the likeness of real people is really, really hard. So we're gonna go with him for that answer. Next question. What is the most challenging aspect of art on a social level? The most challenging aspect of art on a social level is probably getting over the fear of like being perceived. I think you're your own worst critic, and then having to have other people be critical of your artwork. I think most people are very positive, but you will get the negative, commentary, and you're just like, it's not why I'm posting art. It's just not what I want to see. So I think that's like the hardest part. And I think like social media algorithms are just not fun, right? You have to like fight against that every day, and it changes every day, and what worked one day won't work the next. But I think that's like just a necessary evil to this. So I think that's like another part. But I think just like the fear of being perceived and having people like dislike or like your art. Liking is obviously the goal, but if people dislike it, it can be, you're putting a part of your heart out there. And I think that's just always going to be scary when you're making art and sharing it. So that's probably the most difficult part for sure. If your younger self saw your art now, what would be their reaction? What would be their first reaction? I can't read. I think they would be happy. I think they would be pleasantly surprised. I think younger me would be happy. It's hard to answer this question because I think about it in my own lens and how I would see my own artwork, but I'm seeing an artwork from like now and I'm judgmental. But I think younger me would be happy. I think they would be like shocked at how far we've come, because I've never thought I was good. I've never thought I was like a particularly naturally talented artist. So I think younger me would be happy. I hope so. Okay, next question. What's your favorite thing about your new podcast? I think my favorite thing is just being able to chat with my friend. I've always wanted a place to be able to share these things that I love and like want to discuss. And so it's fun to have somebody to do that with. I think it can be kind of awkward staring at a camera and talking to yourself as I do that now. That could be really awkward. So it's nice to have somebody to do it with. And it's cool that we've even gained a following doing that. It's pretty cool. So I think just having somebody to share that with, it's been really fun, and not have to do it by yourself, because I do a lot of these things by myself. So having somebody there with me who wants to do this and is as excited about it as I am is super fun. And being able to build that together has been great. Some characters that you haven't drawn yet but would like to in the future. I would like to draw the new Percy Jackson cast. I think that's an easy one. I haven't really drawn that. So when the show comes out, maybe I will. I think I drew this when I read the books when I was like 18, but I think I would like to draw the Hunger Games characters. I've never drawn them in like my adult life. I think I drew them again, as a kid, but not as an adult. So I think that could be fun to draw them, and it's how I would interpret that. I would try to interpret them from like my book memory, not my like actor, not the actors, I think from the books, and see if I can like remember what I thought of them or just at least reinterpret them. That could be fun. And I also have been working on my own characters and my own original story, and I think that would be really cool to be able to draw that. And that's like on my list to draw my own characters, because they can't stay up here. They have to come down onto the paper. So that's on my list of things to draw as well. Do you remember your first drawing you were proud of? I think I do. So this is a memory I have. When I was in elementary school, I really liked these books called the Captain Underpants books. They were like comics. They were very silly. And I was like 10, if not younger. So, you know, I don't have to explain much. Really liked the Captain Underpants books. And I remember drawing the character. I think I drew Captain Underpants. And it was like an after school. My school would have this like after school thing if your parents couldn't pick you up right away. So I was in this after school care, and it was me and my sister, and I was like sharing the drawing with her because I was really proud of it. And she was also sharing it to her friends because she was like, look how cool this is. Look what my sister drew, which was really nice of her. So that's one of the first drawings I remember. I have no idea what it looked like. Obviously, I don't know if I kept it, but that's probably one of the first drawings I remember being proud of. And I also remember drawing a redraw of the Harry Potter cover. I believe it was the 5th book, and I think I have it. So if I have it, I will put it here so you can see it, of the 5th book. And I drew like Harry from that book, and I was proud of that. So that's also another drawing I remember being proud of pretty early on. I don't know when the 5th book came out, but I was probably also like late elementary school, if not middle school at that point. But definitely one of the other books I remember, or drawings I remember being proud of. Who is your favorite Six of Crows character to draw? Inej, hands down. Kaz is probably a second, and then Nina. Love drawing Nina. So yeah, Inej, Kaz, and Nina are probably my favorites. Oh, and Nikolai. But I said all of this already. I love drawing them. Love to know about your sticker/print shop journey. How did you start/set it up? I will do a whole video on this, like how I started my shop and like how it's progressed. I started it in 2020, and I started it not thinking anything of it. I really started it just being like, might as well. I really didn't think anyone would buy my stuff, and it did better than I expected. So that's been cool, and it's really been motivating, and it's pushed me to get more creative with what I want to create and try to create more products and things, and it's grown a lot. So I'll devote a whole video to this, but I think the advice I'll say here is it's really just a lot about like figuring it out as you go and not being afraid to like not know things. I didn't know what I was doing at all while I was creating it, and then now here we are. Still don't really know what I'm doing, but have a better grasp of things. And I have a Etsy calculator that I'll put in the description that helps me with my pricing to make sure that I'm making a profit on things. So I'll devote a whole video to this, but yeah, it's really just like trial and error, and you just got to start, and then you figure it out as you go. The last question: if you could plan a remake or reboot for any TV show, which would you pick, and what would you change or add? I know the answer to this without question. It would be Danny Phantom, without question, because I think that show deserved so much more than it got. I mean, it was like an animated cartoon series for kids, and I think it has so much potential outside of that, even now as like an adult, not 30 years later, but as a 30-year-old. I would make it darker. I would adjust the animation style, obviously, or no, I wouldn't do live action. Live action would be weird. I think I would still keep it animation, maybe like an Arcane style animation, and just make it darker. Like, just go for it. It's about like a half-dead kid. I think that would just be really cool. I think it'd be really cool. So that would probably be the show that I would love a remake for, because I think a lot of people saw that it had a lot of potential as a story, but obviously just as like a Nickelodeon show, it didn't go nearly as far as it could have. That's everything. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following me through the little glitch that we had midway through. I didn't want to record the intro again because I liked my intro over previous, so things changed slightly. but hopefully this worked. We'll see if this worked. I'll be doing more videos like this if this recording setup works, and we'll go from there, because I need to start doing this more. Like, follow, subscribe. I put all the links down below, and I'll be back soon with another video. I'm trying to upload more consistently. It's hard, but hopefully this is a setup that will help me begin to record more consistently. But yeah, until then, I'll be back soon with another video. Bye!